Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Angelika's Journal. I'm glad you came by to visit. Um, I want to apologize. Last week I was really stressed and I just needed a break. As you know, the week before, I had done a couple videos that needed editing. And as you know, I am not much of a person to do editing. And it really takes a toll out of me. I'm just trying to look up here. The Stampede celebration. And then the Fairmont Hot Springs vacation that we took. Those two entailed editing. That was the end of January. And then I took a break from editing. And I did the birds in the garden ASMR. I did the Amazon haul for the journaling. Garden tour, and then after the garden tour, August 3rd, I started my video editing for the Ways We Camp and RV tour, and it took me Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I think early Monday morning for me to edit that video. That's how long it took. I started it on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then on Sunday, it was either Friday or Saturday, which would have been the 5th or 6th. I did not realize that when you edit a video in an editing program, that you need to keep those photos and the video clips or whatever you're putting into that video, you need to keep it on your computer. I did not know that, and I figured I think it was either Friday night or Saturday night, I went and deleted all those photos because I figured, well, it's in the editing program. The program has those clips, and so I did not need to have it on my computer. So I decided to jump ahead a step and delete it off my computer. Lo and behold, it all disappeared on my editing program, on the video. And it's like, oh my God, I've just erased everything. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I re-download it, it will reconnect because those photos have a number. So I re-downloaded all the photos I could find, and that took a couple of hours because I had to go through all my Google photos to find a lot of the older ones. Well, it did not find it. It did not help. So I then had to delete all the ones on the editing program because the squares were still there for the photo, but it says can't seem to find it. So I had to delete for each section. I had to delete all those squares, put the squares, like download it into the program. Oh my God, it was such a long task. And so now I've learned from that mistake, do not erase it off your computer until you have finished the video and the video has been processed and it has its own file. Then you can go ahead and delete the photos because it's been locked into the video. But until you process your editing, what you've done on your editing program, and then the program goes to process. Well, when it's done processing and the video is complete, you then can go. I guess it just borrows it from the computer. And so that if you change it, it's not like part of the video yet. You can switch things out. So that's something new I learned. For those of you who are doing videos, take note. If you're editing, like for me, it's laptop. I call it a computer, but it's my laptop. When you're editing, do not erase anything you're using in your video until the video is complete and processed. Anyways, that really stressed me out. That video really took a toll on me. And I think I did do another video after that. Oh yeah, the garden maintenance on Thursday. I did the garden maintenance, which was supposed to be posted last Monday, but I posted it on Thursday. So last week, my videos, if I would have done them on schedule, there should have been one last Wednesday and Friday. So I'm missing 2 videos. So I don't know. I do want to catch up on them, but we'll see. But I am back. I'm rested. I'm recuperated. One of my daughters and one of my grandkids came over Saturday and slept over Saturday night. And that was really lovely. And so here we are, Monday. And I'm back on it. So I apologize. I owe you a couple of videos, and we'll see if I can play a catch-up game or not. So moving on to today's video. I am going to be doing journaling for a while because, as you know, I've kind of lost touch with journaling and I really enjoy it. So what I was thinking before all this editing issue came up, I would like to start from the beginning, how to put a journal together and the steps involved. So for this video, the first thing you do when you want to make yourself a journal is you need a book. So whether you make your own, or whether, in my case, like this one, which is a calendar, there we go, a calendar that's pre-made. You can buy these at the dollar store probably. This one I got in the mail for free, as I've mentioned before. So you can use something that's already all put together, ready to go. And calendars would be probably the easier way to go, because to print this all out on your computer and then put it all together, because of all the days and everything, and then you got to line it with your weeks and all that, unless you have an access to getting it for free. And as you know, every year the days and the dates change. So this is probably, if you're going to start with something pre-made, this might be the easier way to start. Just an idea. So as you know, I got this one for free, and that was my first one. No, actually, I think it was my second. Well, these two both are my first two together. So, if you go this route, you just got to decorate your cover and your back, and then add personal touches on the inside. Very easy, very straightforward. It's all paper. I use scrapbooking paper for this because it is bigger than I think it's bigger than a normal sheet. Different one on the back. I used washi, a doily. This is a punch. This is from a magazine I cut out. So really the only thing I paid for, if I would have used the scrapbooking sheets my daughter gave me, I really only spent a little bit for the washi, which you could have used the material. The beads, because I put a dangle, you don't have to put a dangle. The punch, well, you could have just used a glass, made it round, cut it out, and used something like that. And the doily, well, you could have just had, you know, like this is one size, this is another size, and this is another. You could have just done it with glasses and bowls and then cut it out, and yeah, you wouldn't have had the doily, but really you could use stuff in the house, and you know what I mean? Like, I do want to put 2023 here, and I have to glue this down because it's coming up. I want to put 2023 because every year I'll have a new one. But yeah, so this is one idea for a cover. And then this is another idea. Now this, I used these envelopes that I had. I used to sell Avon, and there were 26 campaigns per year. So every year I would buy 26 of these envelopes, and then I would just put all my my invoices, all my receipts, everything in here. And then on the cover, I would mark down, like whichever one covered the first of the month. On the first of the month, I would mark down how much the full amount of rent was, how much electric, you know, like gas, whatever was, because you could write off a percentage of your space, that percentage, like whatever percentage of the house you're using for your business, that percentage of the bill total to run the house, you could then write off on your business. So with Avon, I never made a profit, so I never could use it, but I still wanted to keep track of all that, and I would mark it on the cover. And then all the receipts would be in here. So, and I may do that with this junk journaling if I decide to make money. But my main goal of this channel is just to document what I do, so family and friends could see what I'm up to. And if I should happen to get dementia like my mom, I could look back on these videos. So it's not so much to make money, it's more to document my life. And, you know, and my interests and stuff like that. Anyway, so back to the envelopes. I have a bunch of these. I ended up buying like 50 of them. So you can use this as your base for your cover, and then you can cover it. Here I covered it with just scrapbooking paper. I glued it down, and then I did this stitching around. But I had white thread in the sewing machine, so I used white. I think it would have looked better if I used the black stitching. And then on the inside, see here you can see the envelope. That's the same. And then I just inserted a piece of paper here and on the back, and then stitched, you know, the stitching did this too. But this has all been glued down. So, scrapbooking paper or any kind of paper. So that's another one. Now here is scrapbooking paper that's cardstock. Now, this one I'm still playing around with. I have like a dozen of these that I've cut out and made. But I'm still not 100% sure. I like the pocket here and here. Do I have another one? Hold on, let me just see. I have one that I flipped. Yeah, here, this one. Whoops, the glue stuck. Here's another one I did. So I took two pieces of paper, just like I did here. That one and that one. And then this one the same. This is the pink and white, and this is the pink. And then I glued the flaps. So here's a flap and here's a flap. Whereas here, both flaps are on the inside. But because I cut this wrong. No, that's right. That's right. And then I would sew down the middle and it would be glued together. Okay, see what my issue is and why I'm still toying around with this. Look at this. You end up with a gap here. Even with this one being straight, this one's bumped out. So now I have to figure out, I can't glue it down. What I would have to do is put them together and then stitch on either side here, then stitch the paper on this side without the flap, just across here without the flap. Stitch it together. Or I could do like the three side, like maybe a square kind of thing, but without the flaps. Leave the flaps out, because by doing it this way, I didn't give for the like when it closes it's fine, but when you open it, I don't know, I'm still trying to, maybe it's fine that way, but then if I force it together, see, there's a gap. I don't know, I'm still trying to, I'm toying around with this still. I'm not sure, because I like the cover like this. I don't really want it like this. But then if you do the cover like this, you'd have a flap, a white flap here, and then that one there. Unless I cut this off, flip it over, and then, do you know what I mean? Like, you really have to think out how you want to do this. And then I figured I could put something here, like maybe, I don't know, a flower, or I have napkins like this. I could cut this out somehow and then glue it, like maybe the purple with a bumblebee, and then just put it on here with the bumblebee. Or even, I have a printout that I did recently, like this might go nice. If I cut this out and put it on here with a backing, another color backing, and put it, or a frame if you have a frame, and put it on here. Like, there are other ideas, but I'm still trying to figure out, I probably should not be gluing it down. Like, I put it in here. Maybe I shouldn't have put it in the flap. I should have just had this on top. But then this flap would then, I would have had to have cut it off and put it here. So then here would be this pattern, and then here is this pattern, and then it would be white. Do you know what I mean? Like, you really got to think it out, what you want to do. But anyway, so this is just paper. This is some scrapbook paper. I found some that had metallics, and then this one does not, and this one does not. They came from a different scrapbooking thing. So yeah, your covers, you can use paper, you can use this, which is an envelope just to thicken the cover. These are cardstock, so you don't really need to thicken the cover. This is another idea. Whoops, I fell on the floor. This is another idea. Now this is, oops, Amazon packaging. See there, Prime. This is Amazon packaging, and so is this. So, oh, actually, I have one up here. Oh, if I can reach it. So there, it's the Amazon Prime packaging. Now, the plastic one will glue with the Fabric Fix. That's the one I used for this one. And you can tell, it's really stuck down. So the Fabric Fix will glue to that. And then, but what I did, and I realized just last night, because I did this one yesterday, I measured it 11 by 8.5, because that's the size of paper. But then I was thinking, wait a minute, do I want it exactly the same size as paper? In this one, I believe I did it the same. Well, no, actually. Oh yeah, I glued the envelope somewhere. Yeah, I had to glue it. But the thing is, see how thick it gets? Well, I have a gap here and here. So I guess I did not cut it the width of it. But I do remember cutting this part. But the thing is, as your pages get thicker, look, here it's actually sticking out from the cover. See right there at the corner? It's sticking out from the cover. You don't want it to be the same size as your paper. You want it to be a little bigger. So if you look at this, it's about a 1/4 inch, and here's about a 1/4 inch. So this is probably about a 1/2 inch bigger. Right? But here, I should not have cut it, or at least not as much. Because once you fill this up, it gets fuller and fuller and fuller. And then the paper starts sticking out. Like, you can see the red here, which is probably just something I stuck inside. Oh yeah, it's just a journal card. But, do you know what I mean? So, I think I made a mistake on this one too. So, it's done, and I just got to stitch this now all the way around. But I do have the extra material. Okay, here there's only a little bit extra. See, I did this on the inside, and I did this on the outside. So the outside, there's extra material. But on the inside, there's not much extra. Because I was thinking what I could do is go over the edge, like do a zigzag stitch, and go over the edge all the way around, like right on the edge. And then maybe it will give a little, but I won't be able to put more than one signature in this, and I won't be able to do too many pages. See, and then here you got the fold again. So there, I still have things to learn. Like, how do you get rid of that fold? Like, this is nice, but look at the crinkling. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do some research tonight. And if I can figure it out, I will do a video on it tomorrow. Like, I don't know how they do it. I've seen people do it with material. Do they just leave it be? And then when you put your signature in, do we pop the bubbles here to give space? Like, I don't know. And then, of course, there's this paper one, too. Which this paper one would probably be better for sticking paper onto. Granted, I have to cut it down. But this one has foam on the inside. Whereas this one has the bubbles, right? This is the bubble one. And this just has little foam circles inside that's holding the two layers together. But I will figure it out. And I will let you know. Another idea for this one is I have a bunch of doilies. Now this doily is, like, my doilies are really old. Most of them, if not all, not all, but most of them are from my mom. Now these have been washed and washed and washed. So they need to be kind of blocked. Maybe you can do it with ironing. I'm not sure. But I think that this would be better if you hand sewed it onto some material. Let's say this, which is a comforter cover. So you would put it on here, and like you would cut the material the size you need for your journal, and then maybe like over here put in a few stitches, then on the opposite side put in a few stitches, and then these opposites, and then, do you know what I mean, go around and just do a few stitches and kind of pull it out. See, this one you can tell, like, It's been washed a few times and the yarn kind of got thicker, fluffier. So to pull it, see there's even a rip here. This is missing the connector. So I don't know. And then I have this one, which I think would be nice. What is it? It looks like a flower or some leaf petals. You can see there's a bit of a stain there. Maybe here too. I don't know. But that would be nice. I'll get rid of this. But I think I would put it on... or I've seen it also as this being the closure. So you wrap this around. And then right here there's a closure that's on the lace. And then I guess you could just stitch it in here with your binding. And then, I don't know. And then there's this one too, which is more antique. Wait, that one has a point. Oh, see the number 2, 2. Yeah, see if there was one less of this, then they would be opposites. If it was right here, they would be opposites. Well, mind you, I could probably still do it. Like this. And then somehow attach the binding to here. And here the lace. Binding. It's lace. And then have the lace go in here somehow. And in here. And then use that to tie it. I guess they're supposed to be just raw, but this little one, I don't know. It's because the yarn got thick and you know, from washing, it kind of got thick. You don't really see the intricate work. I don't know. But that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to figure out how to do covers with material. I can do the one with paper, no problem. You know what I mean? Like all you do is you glue the paper on, you can stitch it or not, and it's pretty straightforward. But when you're doing material, you know what I mean? There's more thought involved. You have to figure it out. And then the stitching, I wanted to mention something else, and this will be like, this video is going to be my journaling video, but on my sewing playlist, I'm also going to have this next part, and it's all about the needle. So, I'll get rid of all this. Good thing I have a side table. I can just toss it there. All right, so I did this a while back. So I did a piece of paper here, piece of paper here, piece of paper here, and here. I use the tape so that to reinforce the inside, the original washi tape, and then I went to stitch all around. Can you see that? Can you see that? How thick the holes are? That's because I have the wrong sewing needle. There's no thread in there. Those are just the holes it left behind. Isn't that crazy? So you have to know your needles. Now another one is this one. After gluing, I wanted to stitch it to see about how this is gonna play out. Right? Because of the gap that I was just explaining to you. Well, look at the paper. There. Can you see that? Because it was such a big needle, it made big holes, but the thread was thin. So definitely I used the wrong needle. Here's another one. And then here's a different pattern stitching. See the big holes it's leaving? And then here on this one too. So I discovered the needles, which I did discover when I was doing the comforter, that I had the wrong needle in the machine because the comforter broke the needle. And so I prepared a little demonstration here for you. Well, demonstration, just a little. Okay, this is what I did. I had ordered from Amazon, from China, a pack of all the size of needles. Now, I think this is all. I don't know. There could be more. So, I think the one I broke was this one. Was one of these two. Because this is a package I had from, when I got the sewing machine. Here, I'm going to bring you a little closer so I can see what's going on the camera. A little. All right, there we go. Okay. Now, this is what I got with my sewing machine. And down here, these numbers are the size of the needles. So, I don't know if it was one of these, 14, 16, which would have been either medium or thick. I'm thinking it was the 1180, the thin, that I had in it originally, and it broke. And then I probably took one of the other ones. No, it's the thickest. You can see it's been cut open here. So I ended up taking one from here because I know I saw there wasn't much needles. And if I'm going to get into sewing, I need more needles. So I ordered, and I got these from Amazon. And here it's been cut. So when this one, whatever size it was, broke, I replaced it with the thickest one. Because when I got this, like when I saw this, I didn't think anything of it. But when I got this, I'm like, what? I got like 50 needles? Well, I don't know what's 50. I'm assuming 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, could have been 50 needles, or close to. And I'm like, what do I need all these needles for? And then I noticed they had different numbers. And there's numbers on here. And I'm like, oh, are there different sizes? So then I Googled it. Thickest is for like harder material, like jean, that are stiffer and more dense. Comforters, because there are multiple layers in there. Quilts, you probably can go lighter, but the thickest is for that type of thing. So then I took one of these needles to do my comforters that you saw on the sewing playlist. There's the blue comforter and the white. I used this needle for it. And then I figured, oh, it's fine. So I started sewing this stuff. With that thickest needle. No, I don't think so. So then I realized, oh, I got to switch out the needle. So there's no needle in the machine right now. Because I did these, I'm like, okay, so which one is going to work? So I think I'm going to go for my cardstock. I'm going to use this size needle. Because this is thickest, so that's the thickest material. Working down, this is probably average, and then this one's like thin, cotton, like if you make yourself a cotton dress or a cotton apron, and it's that thin cotton material, it's probably this needle. But paper is a little thicker, and you know, we have this with the foam inside and the bubble wrap. So I'm thinking I should go with one of these. And I think since I have so many needles, I'm going to try with this one because I don't want these big holes in my paper. That looks horrible. Well, it's not horrible. It's fine. I'm just learning, and I'm not selling these. So they're just for myself and for family and friends. So I'm sure that's fine, but yeah, I need to learn how to do it properly. So I think I'm going to try thin, and if that works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll go to medium. And then when I sew my jeans, I'll have to switch out the needle to this because I have some black jeans that I need to alter, and I'll probably have to use this needle. So I just wanted to let you know there are different size needles for different type of materials, and these are the numbers. Now, one thing I found interesting, the 1175, these are the ones I got from China. You can see there's Chinese writing on it. This I got directly with the sewing machine, and this is from Singer because my sewing machine is from Singer. Well, their 11 says 80. It's 11 over 80, whereas mine's 11 over 75. So I guess they're slightly different. I don't know what those numbers represent. That's something else I'll have to learn. Registered trademark, made in Brazil. So this was made in Brazil. This was made in China. And I guess they have different sizing for the needles. But anyways, so there you go. I do apologize again, but I am back. And I think all this week I am going to lock myself in this craft room, and I'm just going to do video after video of all this kind of stuff. I do have to figure out with the material how to do the journal covers. So I will figure it out and let you know. And something else I wanted to mention, and it kind of is linked with covers but kind of not. Something you may want to, and I may repeat this along the way, sign up for, if you do like doing this and you want to do it and you want to get free stuff, the Paper Outpost. This is one of their free monthly printouts. She puts one out every month. This is Pam with her little white dog. Oh, he's so adorable. I follow her, and I signed up for her newsletter. And so this is what the monthly new she gives out a free printable. That was for July. And then now they sent it out, like when you do your printouts, it's 100%. This is what comes. But you can go back in and change the 100% to like 75%. I got it smaller. You can go 50% even smaller. Like, you could even make this like a size of a stamp. Do you know what I mean? You could do it as a stamp. You can do it as, you can even probably do it even bigger. And then, yeah, it might cut off, you know, like it might, the paper might only be like this. And these might be cut off. But you can get two good ones if you do your percentage, like 150%. I didn't even think of printing one out like that for you. 150%. You could get a couple of bigger ones too. Like it's your printer settings that tells you, like when you hit print, you've got all your settings, And that's where you can change the percentage. You can change the format too. Like I could do landscape 150%, and maybe I get all three of them across here, and then here's just the broken up, these two like kind of broken up. And then it'll probably say 2-page printout. So this will be like 1 page, and then this would be the second page. Well, you could just put in the prompt just to do the first page. Then you would just get these 3. Like your printer settings, play with them. This is another one. This is from the Graphic Fairy. I'm signed up for their printouts also. So it was 100%, the full sheet, this picture, full sheet. Well, I don't want it that big. I don't need it that big. Granted, you could use it as a cover on a book, but I didn't want it that big. So I put it down to 75%. Well, this is what came out. Then I did it again at 50%, and then that's what came out. So now this could be something you stick in, you know, on the back of it. Like I do use scrapbooking paper, or not scrapbooking, cardstock. This paper is cardstock. So I could cut this out, maybe even do it with a little bit of the white so it looks like it's framed. And then on the back side, I could put lines on it and put like a little butterfly or something. And then I can just stick it in a pocket, right? And then this big one, you could even embellish it if you wanted, either one. Then if you go online on Google and just Google, oh, don't we love Google? I Googled ladybugs. So there we go. A free printout of ladybugs. And then I was thinking, okay, this is at 50%, because you could get it bigger, but I figured I had no purpose for it to be bigger. So I went with 50%. And then I thought, you know what? If I put this like on a picture, even if we take the bigger one, what if I want to put a ladybug right here on the leaf? That's way too big, right? So I went to 40%. All right. That I can use on cards, but it's still too big. So I went to 30%. Still too big. I went to 20%. I'm like, now we're talking. So I could fussy cut this out. Any one of them. This one's kind of nice, but it has hearts on it. It would have been nice if it didn't have hearts, but hearts is fine. Cut it out, glue it on here, and you got a little embellishment on it. It's a little ladybug. And then I was looking for without the legs or the antenna, because honestly, if you think of it, if you did a ladybug, just cut out the round body, the round head, and leave the antenna and the legs and don't do them. When you glue it on, you can take your fine point marker and you can do your own, like a line here, a line here, a line there. If you want to add legs, you could do 3 legs. You know what I mean? You could take a black marker. It's easier to cut out without the legs or the antenna. Just, you know, it's solid. The body, the head, the butt, whatever. And then use a black marker to just put 2 lines, 3 on either side. Like if his wings are open, of course you don't need the 3 lines. But do you know what I mean? You could just do that yourself. And then I found another one with which it was just the body and the top. And so I printed it. Now remember, something that you, like this is a monthly. Graphic Fairy does not do a PDF. This is just online. You can print it. But Paper Outpost is a PDF, so you can save it and print it repeatedly. This one, you could photocopy this. Or you could save it on your laptop in a file. Same with these. You can save it. They do not come as a PDF. But you can always save it you know, once you print it, it's yours. So then you go and you can scan it, or maybe if there's some way when you go to download, print it, there's some way to download it. You can download it onto your computer. Do you know what I mean? So, but remember, without their permission, you do not want to use this to sell. You gotta look at copyright. Copyright laws do apply to this stuff. So unless they say they give you permission to, I believe with the Paper Outpost, she even says you can do what you want. She has no problem if you print it, embellish it, and sell it. You go for it. These guys, I don't know. And where, like this one, it says where I got it from. I can check what their copyright laws are, what they allow you to do and what they don't. And this one, I don't know who it came from. So, but if you're just doing it like I am, for family and friends and for myself, like I've got 2 now, it really doesn't matter, right? So I just wanted to mention that. Things you can print out. Like I could have done a whole page of this, or I could do one of these, like enlarge it to like 150, 200% or something. I don't know how high they go. And just use that as a cover page too. So, that's all I got today. I hope you enjoyed it. Give you some ideas. I am ordering a new arm for my phone because this one, it's very stiff, and it does not move this way. It only moves this way. So I want to get one of those other arms that are more like a snake. And then that way I can set you up at the sewing machine, and I can show you, you know, what I'm doing, and then sew it on camera. But right now I can't unless I put my sewing machine on here. So anyways, I am working on that. Oh, I wanted to show you this too. The material, that's one material. This is another material. It was part of a baby blanket. I cut it so the backing and the trim is off. There's another material. It's very soft and furry. This was another baby blanket. It's purple. Yeah, it just needs to be cleaned up. And that's from cutting the backing and the edge off. But you can use anything you want. Just like I showed you, you could use the doilies. You could use other material. I am going to be doing one with my old bedspread that is now garbage, but there's still some parts on it that's good. So I'm going to be doing it with that. I've got some material from my mom that I really like. I'd like to do a covers. So, yeah. Paper, material, I don't know, placemats. Like really, you could use anything. So that's covers. Paper ones, you just glue them down. Material ones, of course, you glue it in just like to hold the material, just insert like a certain area, and then you sew it. Yeah, so there we go. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little quick idea video. We're at 49 minutes, of course. I just think of more things to tell you. Give you more ideas and things I discovered. So I will leave you at this. I hope you enjoyed this video. And do what makes you happy, and everything else will fall into place, right? And please like, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions or some ideas you want to share with me. Share the video, if you know anybody who would enjoy this, and click the notification so you don't miss a video. And I will see you on the next one. All right, everybody, take care. Bye for now.